The life of Muhammad ibn Abdullah, circa 570 to 632 CE, is the pivotal narrative in Islamic history, serving as the theological and ethical foundation for the world's second largest religion. Born in an era of tribalism and polytheism, his mission introduced radical concepts of monotheism, social justice, and political unity to the Arabian Peninsula. The early years and Meccan upbringing, circa 570 to 610 CE. The Arabian Peninsula in the late 6th century CE was a patchwork of warring tribes, with Mecca being a vital commercial and religious hub due to the Kaaba, a shrine housing numerous idols and attracting pilgrims. The orphan of the Quraysh Muhammad was born around 570 CE into the Banu Hashim clan of the powerful Quraysh tribe. Tragedy struck early: father's death. His father, Abdullah, died before Muhammad's birth. Mother's death. His mother, Amina, died when he was 6 years old. Guardianship. He was first placed under the care of his grandfather, Abd al-Muttalib, and following his grandfather's death, under his protective uncle, Abu Talib. Growing up, Muhammad received no formal education but gained deep respect among his community. He was known for his thoughtful demeanor, integrity, and fairness, earning the universal nickname, Al-Amin, the Trustworthy. Marriage and family life. As a young man, he worked as a caravan manager. At age 25, he was hired by a wealthy, respected widow named Khadija bint Khuwaylid. Impressed by his business acumen and honesty, she proposed marriage. Khadija became Muhammad's most profound emotional and spiritual partner. Their marriage was characterized by deep devotion and produced several children, though only their daughter, Fatima, would live long enough to play a significant role in Islamic history. Khadija provided the financial stability and emotional sanctuary that allowed Muhammad to pursue contemplation later in life. 2. The Call to Prophethood and the Early Revelations, 610 to 622 CE. As he neared 40, Muhammad grew increasingly disillusioned with the rampant idol worship, social inequality, and moral decay of Meccan society. He would often retreat to the solitude of a cave on Mount Hira, Jabal an-Nur, to meditate. The first revelation, 610 CE, in the year 610 CE, during one of these retreats, the defining moment of his life occurred. The archangel Gabriel, Jibril, appeared to him and commanded him to Iqra, read, or recite. This was the beginning of the Quran, meaning, the recitation, the sacred scripture of Islam. The first verses revealed were from Surat al-Alaq, the Clot, which emphasized God's role as the creator and the importance of knowledge. Muhammad returned home in a state of shock and spiritual awe. Khadija immediately reassured him, becoming the first person to embrace Islam. The message and the response. For the first 3 years, the message was delivered privately to close friends and family, including Khadija, his wife, Ali ibn Abi Talib, his cousin, Zayd ibn Haritha, his adopted son, Abu Bakr, his close friend, later the first caliph. The central themes of the early message were Tawhid, absolute monotheism, the declaration that there is only one God, Allah, and that idol worship is a grievous sin. Akhirah, the afterlife, the impending day of judgment and the accountability of all human actions. Social justice, a powerful condemnation of injustice, the exploitation of the poor, and the mistreatment of orphans and women. When Muhammad began preaching publicly, the Meccan elite, the Quraysh chiefs, reacted with hostility. They feared that the abolition of idol worship would destroy their status and the lucrative pilgrimage trade centered at the Kaaba. The years of persecution. The early Muslims, particularly those who were poor or enslaved, faced severe persecution. Boycott. The Quraysh imposed a brutal economic and social boycott against Muhammad's entire clan, Banu Hashim. Torture. Slaves and vulnerable converts, such as Bilal ibn Rabah, were publicly tortured. Emigration to Abyssinia. Some followers were forced to seek refuge with the Christian king of Abyssinia, modern Ethiopia. In 619 CE, Muhammad faced the Year of Sorrow, losing his two greatest protectors, his uncle, Abu Talib, and his wife, Khadija. Without Abu Talib's protection, the threats against Muhammad became existential. The night journey and ascension. In the midst of this despair, Islamic tradition records a miraculous event, the Isra and Miraj, the night journey and ascension. Muhammad was taken from Mecca to Jerusalem's farthest mosque, Al-Aqsa, and then ascended through the seven heavens, where he received instructions regarding the 5 daily prayers, Salah, T. This journey reaffirmed his spiritual legitimacy during a time of extreme worldly hardship. 3. The Hijra and the establishment of Medina, 622 CE. As the persecution intensified and plots to assassinate Muhammad materialized, a solution emerged from a distant city. The invitation pilgrims from Yathrib, a large oasis settlement north of Mecca, invited Muhammad to mediate their long-standing tribal feuds. They recognized the spiritual and political power of his message and pledged allegiance to him. The Hijra, 622 CE. In 622 CE, Muhammad and his followers secretly undertook the Hijra, emigration, from Mecca to Yathrib. This event is not merely a geographic relocation but a foundational moment that marks the transition from persecution to sovereignty, and hence is designated as year 1 of the Islamic lunar calendar. Yathrib was swiftly renamed Medinat an-Nabi, the city of the Prophet, or Medina. The constitution of Medina. Upon arrival, Muhammad established the first fully fledged Islamic state. His first act was drafting the Constitution of Medina, a remarkable political document that united the Muslim immigrants, Muhajirun, and the local Muslim converts, Ansar. Established a framework for cooperation and defense among all residents, including the Jewish tribes who lived there. Declared Muhammad the supreme political and judicial authority of the city. The Muslim community became a ummah, a single community bound by faith rather than mere tribal ties. IV. The era of conflict and consolidation, 624 to 630 CE. The peace of Medina was short-lived, as the powerful Quraysh in Mecca viewed the new Muslim state as a direct economic and ideological threat. Key military engagements. The period between 624 and 628 CE was dominated by military conflict with Mecca. The Battle of Badr, 624 CE, a small, poorly equipped Muslim force miraculously defeated a much larger and better armed Meccan army. This victory was a massive morale boost and established the Ummah's military viability. The Battle of Uhud, 625 CE, the Meccans sought revenge and inflicted a painful defeat on the Muslims, though Muhammad survived. This event taught the early Muslims crucial lessons about discipline and strategy. The Battle of the Trench, Al-Khandaq, 627 CE, a massive Meccan coalition besieged Medina. Following the advice of Salman the Persian, the Muslims dug a protective trench, an unfamiliar tactic in Arabia. The siege failed due to poor conditions and internal disunity among the attackers, securing Medina's stability. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah, 628 CE, Muhammad led a large group of Muslims toward Mecca for pilgrimage. Though fighting seemed imminent, a truce was brokered, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Though seemingly unfavorable to the Muslims at the time, it secured a 10-year peace, recognized the Muslims as an equal political entity, and allowed them safe passage for pilgrimage the following year. It proved to be a strategic triumph, allowing Islam to spread through peaceful conversion. Triumph and final years, 630 to 632 CE, the conquest of Mecca, 630 CE, the Quraysh violated the Treaty of Hudaybiyah by attacking one of Muhammad's allied tribes. This violation prompted Muhammad to march on Mecca with an army of 10,000 men. Instead of warfare, Muhammad executed a bloodless conquest. He offered amnesty to nearly everyone, including his former enemies. Upon entering the Kaaba, he personally supervised the destruction of the 360 idols, proclaiming, "Truth has come and falsehood has vanished." Quran 17-81. He rededicated the Kaaba to the worship of the one true God, Allah. This event cemented Islam's dominance in the Arabian Peninsula. Consolidation and the farewell pilgrimage. Following the conquest, Muhammad focused on uniting the remaining tribes of Arabia under the banner of Islam. By 631 CE, most of the tribes had sent delegations to Medina, acknowledging his authority. In 632 CE, Muhammad performed his only farewell pilgrimage, Hajjat al-Wada, using the occasion to deliver his final, powerful sermon. He reiterated the sanctity of human life, property, and honor. He stressed the equality of all Muslims, declaring that no Arab is superior to a non-Arab, except by piety. He emphasized that he had delivered the message and completed his mission. Death and legacy. Shortly after returning to Medina, Muhammad fell ill and passed away on June 8, 632 CE, at the age of 63. He was buried in the house of his wife, Aisha, which is now part of Al-Masjid an-Nabawi, the Prophet's Mosque, in Medina. Enduring legacy. The legacy of the Prophet Muhammad extends far beyond his lifetime. The revelation, he delivered the Quran, the central theological text of Islam. The Sunnah, his life and actions, known as the Sunnah, the exemplary way, recorded in the Hadith, sayings, serve as a second source of Islamic law and ethics. The Caliphate, his death led to the establishment of the Caliphate, the political religious system led by his successors, starting with Abu Bakr, which rapidly expanded the Islamic Empire across the Middle East, North Africa, and into Spain and Central Asia. The ethical model, for Muslims, Muhammad remains the Insan al-Kamil, the perfect man, whose compassion, honesty, commitment to justice, and faith serve as the ideal guide for every aspect of life.